So first things first, apparently Filian is getting called out by Jacksfilms for being a content thief. This stemming from the fact that she does a decent amount of reaction content. Now, the framing of this tweet and the framing that I've seen a lot of other people refer to this with is the idea that Jacksfilms is coming out of nowhere to attack Filian specifically. There's very much a sentiment of normies versus VTubers, with a lot of the comment section basically being, it's time to go into the comment section to defend all of VTubing. With other people pointing out that people have been doing you laugh, you lose videos for over a decade. Singling her out makes it seem like VTuber hate. But rather than just take the internet's word for it, I actually went out and I watched up to this point in particular before I got bored, where he is allegedly talking shit on Filian's name. But as someone who actually watched the video, there's a couple things that are immediately obvious. This is part of a long-running video series where he doesn't single out VTubers, he singles out reaction channels. This man fucking hates reaction content. And he's even got his own bad reactor bingo card. And of course, before the end of the video, he gets a bingo on his bingo card. And throughout the video, his biggest complaints are the fact that the reactions provided aren't all that transformative. They're either just laughing or the commentary they're adding doesn't really provide much. And his second biggest pet peeve is the fact that there's no credit. And that's basically how he's defining content theft. If your reactions are mostly a nothing burger and you're not crediting the original uploader of the meme content, it's theft. That's his personal belief. Whether or not you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments section down below. Is doing a you laugh, you lose that doesn't fit this man's specific parameters content theft? That's for you guys to decide. Now, although I think people can have a discussion about whether or not a reaction video counts as transformative and original content or whether it's content theft, people can have a discussion about that. But one thing I find extremely petty is how he's criticizing Filian for uploading memes to her community page. This feels bizarre. Like, sure, you could argue a video is original content that should be respected and credited. But memes are not original IP. The biggest aspect of meme culture is their shareability. Everyone who uploads a meme on Reddit or Twitter or 4chan or whatever understands from the get-go that people are going to steal it and run with it and spread it around. It's just an image with a caption. It's not that serious. This is a weird nitpick that I don't understand. One thing I will say in defense of Jacksfilms is the fact that if you're looking at this story online, it's being framed as normies versus VTubers. But one thing he makes clear in the video is that he doesn't actually hate VTubers. He explicitly hates reaction channels. And he's called out multiple other content creators before. In fact, this guy's favorite target isn't VTubers, it's Sniper Wolf. He's uploaded a weirdly high number of videos about how much he fucking hates Sniper Wolf. I don't know Sniper Wolf. I don't watch her. I don't know her. I don't give a fuck about her. But it seems honestly kind of obsessive how many videos he's made about how much he fucking hates her content. On the very first page of his YouTube channel, 3 of those 4 videos at the bottom of the page are about Sniper Wolf, and those videos are a year old. And his second most recent video is, it's been a year, has Sniper Wolf changed? This man is fucking obsessed. And the last thing I'll say about this is I just find it amusing that this video dedicated to how much he hates reaction content is done as a reaction video. And one of the things he brings up multiple times about what makes a bad reaction video is his complaint that a bad reaction video isn't funny. But I gotta say, guys, I watched his reaction video. I didn't laugh a single time. He's not funny either. Now, before I end this segment talking about reaction content, Regardless of whether or not you hate low effort reaction content or you love you laugh, you lose challenges and things in that genre, regardless, I strongly suggest you check out Danny Motta. This man does anime reactions, and his reactions are, in my opinion, more entertaining than the original content. And because I'll probably never have an excuse to do this ever again on this channel, because it'll probably never become relevant, I shall now treat you to a montage of Danny Motta being hilarious.
You guys want me dead or something? Actually, turns out I'm gay. Like, what? Get out of here. Kill yourself, coward. I'm struggling to follow your logic. This is so worth starting a war over. And you goddamn right it's political. Wow. Wow, that's so hardcore. That sucks. That fucking blows. Write something down. I'm not in the mood. This is the best day of my life! Damn it, that also kind of accidentally ended up sounding racist. No man should ever yoink another man's pussy without suffering severe consequences. Girl, get snacking. Do not let a man dictate what you can and cannot munch. Don't run away from your responsibilities. What am I responsible for? Getting fucked! Even if you do end up going through with your genocide, at least you'll know you helped my channel out along the way. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Come on, guys. Come on here. Hey, who's ready for a brand new segment I've been meaning to introduce called Danny Doesn't Make Any Comments or Jokes Until the Indians Go Away? God, this poor random soldier who did absolutely nothing wrong. He's just hanging out one day and then all of a sudden, sir, you are under arrest for the murder of a 6-year-old child. For the murder of what? If you'd have let him cook, maybe we could have gotten a moon with tits. Or a pussy moon. God, I want a pussy moon. Imagine taking a step outside and there's just a massive vagina in the sky. Oh my god, the Etsy witches would lose their mind.
I will never have the chance to show that montage again, so I had to do it. And because I think Jacksfilms will personally come to my house and shoot me dead if I don't credit the creator properly, this is his channel, Danny Motta. He's fucking hilarious. Another thing I wanted to talk about was some drama surrounding Quinn Benet, aka Kyo Kaneko of Niji Sanji, and I saw this drama stewing, and I almost didn't want to cover it because the whole thing kind of gave off rancid vibes. It felt, I don't know, somehow off. It all felt very out of context and drama stirring. But I finally found the origin of what everyone is talking about, and I watched it for myself, unedited, with the full context. And so now that I have that context, I want to talk to you guys about it. So I saw this video. This ex-Niji Sanji member went on an unhinged rant against another ex-liver, and they show Quinn Benet, who is a person that I genuinely enjoy the content of. So people are talking bad about someone that I like. Of course, I'm going to be skeptical. And I just didn't want to watch like a full hour of these two people watching this VOD and pausing every 2 minutes to talk about how much they hate him. And the only clips I could find were these like 30-40 second clips taken out of context with a whole lot of opinion thrown in right up at the top. And in this post, they talk about how he went on a 10-minute tangent crying about how she doesn't deserve support because she liked to post saying fuck Kyo, or saying that it was weird when people were defending Sayu when she was docked but didn't condemn her when she made an essay joke. And coming to the conclusion that Quinn is a petty individual angry that Sayu is getting more support than him and his quote cock-sucking buddy Hex. And then saying not a proof that he doxed her, implying that this person believes that Quinn is the one who doxed Sayu. But this introductory paragraph just had so much steaming opinion that I just didn't want to watch this one clip out of context and take their word for it. This is a person who clearly hates Quinn, and they say as much. They say this is proof that Quinn is in fact a shithead, just how I always said he was. So this person already hates this man, has been looking for a valid reason to say something, and found a 30-second clip out of context where he said something that they didn't like. And again, rancid vibes. And the whole comment section is obsessed with this one moment where he makes an inaccurate comparison between the sexual assault joke that Zaion made to Sayu getting doxxed and saying that they were equivalent, and then completely ignoring the fact that he immediately backpedaled, and also completely ignoring that that wasn't the point of what he was talking about at all. I'm going to go ahead and play more than just these 38 seconds to give you a little bit more context as to what he was actually talking about.
I don't know, there's this weird subset of VTuber viewers that are like really into like the girl parasocial shit that like really defend really shitty behavior when it's like when someone is also parasocial and leans into that girl shit. And then whenever someone that doesn't do it but does the exact same behavior, they like shit on that person. So like someone would grandstand and make an opinion about something I did wrong and pretend like I'm the devil, even if they're like, oh, she did the same thing, just because they already disliked me and needed to just find a valid reason, and now that they have one, they're never gonna let go of it. That's one of my biggest problems with the VTuber community. The amount of like fake activism just because they want to like fucking, and the people that they shit on are always people that don't conform to the parasocial idol side of the culture 100% of the time. Anyone that they see deviates from that norm, they want to shit on and get rid of because they feel like they're like a plague on the community. So they kind of like ferment and create these reasons to dislike them and kind of like dump it on them. And they're really willing to like defend the shitty behavior of people that like create the type of content they like. And then when someone else they don't like does it, they shit on them. And these people honestly don't even care about like the woke-isms and shit. It's more like they're really like invested in finding out like who's a snake or who betrayed who, or like they really like read into your interpersonal interactions and try to like make you out to be a bad person. So it's not even like they care. Like I could say something racist and these people would not give a fuck. But if I were to like be kind of mean to some like girl that I collabed with, they would really look into it and like try to be like, is he fucking the bitch? Oh my God, he's so mean. And like make out this like crazy interpersonal relationship that they know nothing about into something that they act like they're like, you know, some all-knowing being, omnipotent fucking third-person POV, like knowing everything that happens, and then try to give some opinion on it as if their opinion holds any weight. And then they do that to find valid reasons to dislike the person. That's it. Like there's some VTubers that have said some crazy racist shit, and these people will defend them to no end. And then they'll also be like at the same time like schizo posting on like some forum for like 5 hours a day trying to like figure out why this male content creator that they dislike is interacting with this female content creator that they do like. I'm also not really a fan of like the, you know, I don't know, like the woke side of the community either that like gets their panties in a bunch over jokes either. But like, I feel like there's also this like other side that's like the edgy side of the community, but then they like oddly grandstand about like woke issues only when it's convenient to shit on someone they dislike and then defend like their favorite Oshi like schizo posting on 4chan and like telling people to kill themselves. Like it's crazy. I don't know. It's insane. It's crazy to me. But once you know that it's like, it's not really a reflection of you, it's more of a reflection of they need to find a reason to dislike you so they feel just in their dislike, then it's like you feel so much better.
I'm going to jump in here halfway and just point out everything Quinn has been saying so far is 100% true and accurate, and he's very clearly building up to a point that there is bias in the VTuber community and people are willing to defend literally anything that their Oshi does. And if they don't like someone, they go out of their way to read into everything they say and do so that they can find a justifiable excuse to shit on them publicly. Not because the thing they did that they're shitting on them for is actually something they care about. It's just a convenient excuse to shit on them. And this is kind of the point he's making throughout this entire rant. And this is broadly applicable across many, many, many different situations that he encountered as Kyo. Everyone's assuming that this whole rant is about Zaion Lanza, but if you've watched as much Kyo Kaneko content as I have, and you followed him on Twitter and you've seen what the community does, you know he's not talking about this one specific moment. He's talking about a huge span of time where he got shit on multiples of time for a wide variety of things. So to pretend like this entire rant was entirely aimed at Zaion Lanza, it's disingenuous, it's clickbait, and I don't respect it. So with that out of the way, let's now transition into the part where he actually did say something that I think most people would find disagreeable, and let's actually break it down and talk about it. Now that we know the full context of what's going on and the points that he's trying to make.
Like, I've had people be more charitable to like a literally like a psycho 30-year-old lady that was like harassing like a borderline barely legal adult than like fucking the barely legal adult that like said something that was kind of petty. Like, what? Yo, that shit was crazy. What do you mean? Like, this person's been an adult for 10 years and they're acting 13, and then this like person's been an adult for 1 year is acting their age, and you're more mad at them for acting their age than you are at the 30-year-old for acting like 13?
I'm going to jump in here halfway and just point out everything Quinn has been saying so far is 100% true and accurate, and he's very clearly building up to a point that there is bias in the VTuber community, and people are willing to defend literally anything that their Oshi does. And if they don't like someone, they go out of their way to read into everything they say and do so that they can find a justifiable excuse to shit on them publicly. Not because the thing they did that they're shitting on them for is actually something they care about, it's just a convenient excuse to shit on them. And this is kind of the point he's making throughout this entire rant. And this is broadly applicable across many, many, many different situations that he encountered as Kyo. Everyone's assuming that this whole rant is about Zaion Lanza, but if you've watched as much Kyo Kaneko content as I have, and you followed him on Twitter and you've seen what the community does, you know he's not talking about this one specific moment. He's talking about a huge span of time where he got shit on multiples of time for a wide variety of things. So to pretend like this entire rant was entirely aimed at Zaion Lanza, it's disingenuous, it's clickbait, and I don't respect it. So with that out of the way, let's now transition into the part where he actually did say something that I think most people would find disagreeable, and let's actually break it down and talk about it. Now that we know the full context of what's going on and the points that he's trying to make.
I'm so used to being disliked, I like don't care anymore. You know? You can't convince me to change myself because you're unable to like be a well-adjusted human being. Like, no. Like, people have acted in the past like I've committed like war crimes. And then they're defending people that have like done way worse. Like, I made one tweet one time that wasn't a subtweet at all and everyone thought it was a subtweet, and I got shit on for like weeks. And this one person who literally by name said fuck me got support. And I'm the petty one. Like, what the fuck? Like, that makes no sense. I'm sorry. No sense. In any way does that make sense. And like what I said wasn't even wrong either, but at the same time, it wasn't even about that person because I didn't know that situation was happening. I did not know these clips of this person saying this thing were going around at the time. I didn't see it. I found out when I woke up the next day, looked at Twitter, and my one tweet to a smaller Twitter account had 100 replies of people mad at me. And I was like, huh? And I looked and then I figured it out. And then the person that thought I subtweeted them, instead of asking me if this was a subtweet, decided to by name like comments that said fuck me by name. But I'm the petty one though, right?
And here's an important part of context that everyone talking about this is completely overlooking. The situation that he's currently ranting about was all started because he said something and it was just assumed that he was talking about that person when he wasn't. People are leaping to conclusions, using that as an excuse to shit on him, and then he feels like he has no way to defend himself because his contract prevents him from talking about certain things. So he just has to eat that hate that the internet is spewing at him. And this whole rant of his is him complaining about people taking him out of context and finding an excuse to paint him like the bad guy. And during this rant, that's exactly what people are doing. Taking him out of context and painting him out to be the bad guy because they already didn't like him. The very thing he's complaining about and ranting about, this unhinged rant of his that everyone's making fun of him for, is him ranting about the very thing people are doing to him right now.
People are more willing to forgive the person that said fuck me by name and made this public beef than the person who made a tweet that accidentally could have been connected to something by accident. Like, my story is somehow you're less charitable toward believing my story than someone who by name said fuck me. Anyways, I want to conclude this by saying I have spoken to the person that did like the comment saying fuck me and cleared it up with them that I was not subtweeting them. I told them, I was like, hey, this is kind of getting out of hand. I don't have a personal problem with you. I disagree with what you said, and I'm never going to say I didn't, but this was not about you. And everyone in here is saying it's about you. If you want to believe them, fine, but it's not. And then they were like, okay, I understand. And then we kind of moved on. But somehow, I'm still the villain. Like, what the fuck? Yo, the internet is so unreal, it's crazy. The internet is so unreal, it's crazy. And I don't have a personal problem with this person anymore. So I don't want this to be painted as the fact that I do have a personal problem.
So not only are people overlooking the fact that this drama all started because of a misunderstanding, they're also overlooking that he actually got in contact with them directly and they've already made up and gotten over it. The amount of context being skipped out on just to paint Quinn as the bad guy is insane.
But I'm just saying, like, it's interesting how people online were more forgiving to someone who was more publicly spiteful than someone who made a tweet that was unrelated to something without realizing it was related to something. And I wasn't allowed to say it was an accident at the time or I'd get in trouble. I just had to deal with the consequences. And then people were like, oh, you're supporting doxing? How? I didn't even know the clip was going around to know the person was getting doxed. Like, what the like, yo.
Another piece of context everyone is overlooking. Everyone is complaining about his comments about the doxing, completely omitting the fact that he, at that moment, didn't know they were getting doxed.
Also, how is me saying making jokes about a bad topic is bad, somehow supporting another bad thing? Like, how are we're jumping from like A to fucking Z to Z squared. Like, bitch, you jumped over the fucking Grand Canyon, okay? The fucking Pacific. Like, you jumped to the moon, to Mars, all the way into the fucking sun to come up with link this conclusion. Like, what? That's what I'm saying. They just grandstand about random shit because they like one person over the other. Like, you're okay defending jokes about someone getting violated, but you're not okay with like someone being like doxed. Like, one is not any better than the other. I mean, low-key, I think a bad tasted joke is a lot more forgivable than doxing someone. I agree.
And here we come to the soundbite that everyone is sharing around, where he says that making an essay joke and doxing are equally as bad. And then he immediately backtracked because the nanosecond he said that, he realized he was dumb and wrong and he corrected himself. Mind you, he's talking about a whole career of getting shit on and unfairly treated, and this is just one of many situations. It wasn't the point of his rant. It was just one example, and then he said a dumb thing that was wrong, and then he corrected himself. People are being so disingenuous and cherry-picking just that one bit out of context, and then claiming the entire rant was about that one soundbite that made him sound like the bad guy, because he was speaking too quickly and said something stupid and then immediately corrected himself. People are tripping over themselves to find a reason to hate this man, because they already hate him and they want an excuse to shit on him publicly, which is exactly what he's been saying the entire rant.
But also, it's like, how are you so willing to like facilitate the acceptance of one thing to weaponize it to make something else unaccepted? You know, just make it like where it's, hey, yeah, honestly, like, you know, I just don't like this guy. Like, oh, fair. You don't like my content? Don't watch me. Fine. But you trying to like come up with a reason and stir the pot is crazy. Like, doing too much. Same thing with the Korea thing. Like, that was a different group that didn't fucking like me. But like, for what? Like, you waited 2 months to bring that up? 2? On a stream with 10,000 viewers. It's on Twitter and it's an issue within 12 to 24 hours maximum. Sometimes even before you end your stream, it's an issue on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, the fuck is we talking about? What's up, Sunny? How are you doing? Guys, if you don't know Sunny, she's great.
And before I move on, I want to make one thing very, very clear. I'm bringing up this particular video. I didn't watch the video. It's entirely possible that they were more charitable or more nuanced during the entire hour that they were talking about this. That's entirely possible. I didn't watch it. So I'm not judging them for the content of the video. I am exclusively irritated with the title that I feel was misleading and uncharitable. These two other content creators in my field doing the same thing that I do had a clickbait thumbnail that annoyed the shit out of me. That's all I'm saying. I am not making this video to shit on Rima, Evenstar, or Parrot 4chan. So if I see anyone in the comment section or on Twitter trying to @ them or DM them and showing them a clip of this video to try and make it seem like I have beef with these people when I literally don't, I'm going to be so phenomenally pissed. I'm literally just mad about the title. And that's all I had to say about that. Now let's move on to the last thing I wanted to talk about. Twitter is sucking ass yet again. What else is new? The way they're sucking ass. X Engineering says, soon we'll be launching a change to how the block function works. If your posts are set to public, accounts you have blocked will be able to view them, but they will not be able to engage. Why the fuck would I want someone that I blocked to view my page? I don't give a shit if they can't reply to me directly. They can still see me saying all my shit, and they can screenshot it, post it on their timeline, and continue talking shit about me and directly replying to everything I say. But because I block them, I'm not going to see them talking shit about me. This is a terrible move. Why would I want someone I block to see my content? This immediately demolishes the point of blocking someone. I hate this. And all of the top comments are roasting this man. And the people that are roasting him are blue fucking check marks. These are verified or whatever the fuck they're called. The people who pay $8 to get Twitter verified. So even the people paying money for Twitter hate this new Twitter update. We've got comments such as, hey, this is fucking stupid, by the way. The whole point of the block button is I don't want them to even know that I exist. Or another comment saying, that's not blocking, it's support stalking. Agreed. Evil saying, big day for stalkers and harassers. Amen. Another comment saying, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you a very messy bankruptcy. Thank you. Facts. Another comment saying, come on guys, this is 100% because Elon is one of the most blocked people on this dumb app. And can I just say, I didn't cherry pick these comments. I didn't go out of my way to look for negative comments and only display those to further my own opinion. These are just the top comments, in order. I have never seen every single top comment have the exact same opinion. Also hilariously, this might be against Apple and Google's terms of service. Jury is still out on that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've seen a lot of people say it, so who knows? Now, normally that would be enough for me to get mad about, but it gets worse. As a new Twitter update reveals, they've added lines allowing content posted to be used in AI training models, specifically calling out allowed use in generative AI. And that means it's not just your tweets being used to train LLMs like ChatGPT. That also means all of your art can be scraped by the Twitter generative AI. A lot of people saying that this is actually genuinely more impactful than just changing the blocking changes. Even if you personally don't hate AI, the simple fact is artists do. And the overwhelming majority of artists have a Twitter account. And now Twitter has just directly told all artists it's going to scrape their art for their AI program. So even if you don't care, artists do, and they are going to leave. And that leads me to Dia Riku, one of my favorite artists. She is an artist in rigor for some of the most gorgeous VTuber models I've ever seen. And to top it all off, she's a hilarious content creator in her own right. One of the most underrated VTubers in the space. And upon finding out about this generative AI feature being added to the Twitch terms of service, she has said that she can't stand this garbage app anymore, and she has moved to a competitor app. The social media app Blue Sky has used this opportunity to capitalize on people's hatred of Twitter to court new users. People have built extensions to help people follow from one platform to another. People memeing on the fact that everyone is apparently moving to Blue Sky. And just user after user after user saying that they're creating an account on Blue Sky. With some people even going as far to say a great exodus is upon us. But although it is fun and exciting and it makes for a good headline to say that everyone's leaving Twitter and everyone's going to such and such website, I want to point out that we did this with Mastodon. We did this with Threads. We've done this so many times where Twitter does something awful, everyone says they're going to leave, there's a temporary reduction in Twitter usage, a huge influx in a competitor, and then because the competitor just physically isn't as large as Twitter, it's simply less useful for any of the big movers and shakers. Because here's the thing, artists and users can all say, hey, I'm leaving, and I believe that they will temporarily. But the purpose of a social media account is to reach as many people as possible. And because Twitter has the largest user base, if you want to reach as many users as possible, anyone who wants to be a content creator needs to be on the biggest platform. And because all of the biggest content creators are eventually gonna come back to Twitter, that means all of the fans, aka the user base, are gonna stay on Twitter. And I'm not the only one saying this. Twitter is like YouTube at this point. It's too big to fail. Personally, I feel like the only way Twitter is actually going to fail, and the only way for one of these many competitors to actually take off, is for Twitter to actually close down. Because Twitter revenue is cratering. Advertisers are leaving en masse. The value of Twitter stock is garbage. The income the company is making is garbage. The public relations aspect is garbage. The reputation is garbage. If and only if the company fucking collapses will people actually be forced to leave and go somewhere else. So if you want to open a Blue Sky account and follow all of your favorite content creators to this new social media platform, I encourage you to do so. I do genuinely want there to be a serious competitor to Twitter. I want Twitter to fail. I hate this platform, but I am simply not optimistic. And I personally can't leave Twitter because all of the biggest names in VTubing, which is what this whole channel is about, are on Twitter. This is where the Hololive talents are. This is where the Niji Sanji talents are. This is where all the indies are. So unless we see a big move from one of the big names where one of these massive companies literally stops using Twitter, I don't have high hopes. But maybe I'm just being pessimistic. Maybe Blue Sky does stand a chance. I hope it stands a chance. I encourage all of you to open an account and try and make it a reality. But only time will tell. I'm very curious to hear what y'all think in the comment section down below. That's all I have to say. Bye, guys.